There's 8 billion people on the planet. Everyone's having a totally different experience depending on their liquid crystalline matrix.
We see the body and the biology as a battery. As long as I've got that negative charge, you'll be more in tune to what's happening in the field or in your own sort of world.
So if we give it the light and those foundational nutrients in a holistic form, it's intelligent enough as a liquid crystal oscillate with those light frequencies in a way that our experience here will be aligned with our destiny and experience life as heaven on earth.
I want to kind of 101 it for people. The body as, liquid crystal. What was your exploration into that?
So many of them are free. Getting sun, drinking good water, fasting. And we're a startup. We had nothing. We were living out the back of the Prius. There was a beauty in that because you have to trust. When you've got nothing, you can lose nothing.
They're not supplements. You work with light and frequency and water and the body.
We're focusing on the charge of the cell. Drama and suffering, pain. I see them all as inefficient systems. When we're modulating and priming the intelligence of the body with substances like gold and shilajit and light, fasting, then our body as an antenna can oscillate with those higher frequencies from the field. That's really our passion and devotion, where we're accessing the truth of who we are, and then humanity transcends.
All right, so I'm dying to talk about this.
Yeah, it's almost what we were talking about just before. It's like that attachment to outcome. It's like, wow, that's a holding pattern, that attachment to outcome.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, didn't see that.
Yeah. That's a big one. We're taught that.
Yeah.
It's shown to us throughout our lives, especially as men. It's like, what's the outcome? It's not about like, what's the resonance? What's the free, like get into the woo woo, but like, what's the, like, what are these things that we're putting out, right? What's our intention versus like, I'm trying to build this thing so I can sell it in 5 years for this. Like that stuff can be somewhat useful, but when that's the North Star, I don't need to tell you guys have built businesses, and so, well, let's just drop into it then. I mean, like, you guys are the hearts and minds behind Manna Vitality, and you guys have come up with a whole slew of, I don't even like to call them products, but they're almost like they're not supplements. They're like, how do you guys categorize them? Because you work with light and frequency and water and the body and electromagnet. Like, what is it that you guys have shared with all of us?
Yeah, so we see Manna as not a supplement company, but the future of human vitality. And the reason we see it that way is we're focusing on the charge of the cell. So we're focusing on the energy, the frequency, the intelligence of the body. So it's not what you take, it's how much charge you can hold within your cell, within that cell membrane. So I guess we're looking at it from the space between energy and form and that intersection. So that's what's really important for us. That's why we're passionate. It's about the energy. It's about the light. It's about the intelligence. So we see the body as being the most intelligent system and technology in the universe. So if we give it the light and those foundational nutrients that it requires in a holistic form, then it's intelligent enough to actually be on its path and as a liquid crystal oscillate with those light frequencies in a way that our experience here will be aligned with our destiny and we can enjoy life. That's the big thing. Because all of those processes are more efficient. So, drama and suffering and pain, I see them all as inefficient systems. And when we're modulating and priming the intelligence of the body with substances like gold and shilajit and ormus and structured water and light and fasting, meditation, then our body as an antenna, as a liquid crystal, can oscillate with those higher frequencies from the field. Then we have access to more information. We have access to more inspiration. And then we can be on our path. And when we're on our path, that's the greatest thing we can do, because we feel and experience life as heaven on earth. And we see that as the opportunity for humanity moving into the golden age. So, the golden age is not just about politics or finance. It's about a whole range of things. But Manna's focused on the biological system and the mind, and tuning that in and turning that on so that it can get those light frequencies and align us with genetic liberation and a brand new human species. That's the invitation at the moment, is to evolve into our full potential.
Okay, so for people, I love that, by the way, and I want to kind of 101 it for people who are like, what do you mean the body as liquid crystal and like an antenna and the signal, like frequencies, like let's take that down one step, because I love all that, and like that I am so tuned to that. I just don't know that everybody is. And so what was your maybe exploration into that, which I'm sure you didn't come out of the womb maybe thinking that, but like, how did you orient towards this idea, looking at our bodies very differently than what we've been taught, certainly in the West?
Yeah, I guess for me, it started with spending time with theoretical physicist back in 2011 called Nassim Haramein. And he was teaching me a lot about space and the connection between all things. And then sun gazing was an incredible experience of light, the frequencies, and removing separation. And then studying minerals and the ocean, and realizing that everything's made from light, water, and minerals. So then I started looking at the body as a liquid crystal and as a body of like salt water, which salt water with all of the minerals like magnesium, potassium, sodium, sulfur, calcium, is that liquid crystalline structure. And, we think our thoughts or our frequencies are in our head. They're not. When I say we're a crystal or a liquid crystal or a crystalline matrix, we're receiving all of our thoughts from the field, from the universal intelligence. So when that crystal's tuned in and turned on, we're getting access to a whole different layer of thoughts, which changes our human experience. So, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Everyone's having a totally different experience depending on their liquid crystalline matrix. And we think we're all thinking similar things and having a similar experience, but we're not. So our intention really is to raise the frequency and charge of the body so that we can have access to those higher processes and higher thoughts that puts us on our path and makes life like a beautiful place to be and a magical, mystical experience that's like that's all we can dream to have for our own experience, but for everybody as a collective. That to me is what I understand to be liberation and freedom and all of those other beautiful things.
Yeah, that's perfect 101 right there. Now, Brad,
Yep.
you guys have been friends for over 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. And I'll add to what David said then, like the simplistic model for us is we see the body and the biology as a battery. And when we're talking about charge, the best thing about cells is like, as long as I've got that negative charge. So on one end, we're like in dissonance. So that's through our environment, which is food, where we are, what we talk about and what we consume. And then on the other end is resonance. We feel when we're talking about like charge and voltage that the more that you're in resonance through, sun gazing, light, eating good food, being a good company, you're more on that resonance scale and that higher end where you got that negative charge of that battery. So you'll be more in tune to what's happening sort of in the field or, in your own sort of world. So yeah, that's what, when he talks about that, that's sort of how as simply as I can put it, it's like a battery. I see the biology as a battery that's got to be so beautifully negatively charged that then will operate in a resonance place.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It carries on from a lot of Jerry Tennant's work.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the body's the voltage, health is voltage and vitality is voltage. So, I think we've only discovered that the similarities, in the last few years with that, but it's been sort of the body of the work that we've carried with Manna as well that's the world. And there's a deeper layer to that as well. Jerry's done an incredible job. It's sort of like, oh no, we can actually see that charge is like so important. And, Manna in its essence is like the building blocks to all of life. And that once we give the body all the building blocks of life, you're closer to that resonance. And when you're closer to resonance, you're more in tune to what's happening around you. Let's call it awareness or embodiment or something like that. Like, I think that's an individual experience more so. And how you get there is an individual experience as well. Is it going through the Himalayas and sleeping at the Dead Sea, or is it like what we talked about before? Is it in a beautiful relationship that you're getting showed everything, and you're realizing that your biology's not there? Am I in my right mood, or am I eating the right foods? Am I listening to the right stuff? So, yeah, that's just sort of the body of the work of Manna is primarily that.
And who between the two of you, was the driving force for the seed of this? Which one? Was there one of you that took the lead? Was it something that you guys were exploring together? How was this birthed?
That's a good question. From a formula, the way that our business operates or our relationship operates, David's the formulation, the alchemy, and the journey, a lot of the journey. I've geeked out massively over the last 20 years with the body and what that does and, how that operates, the biology operates. And I think that's where the perfect marriage is with David's obsession and detail with the formulas and the journey that's aligned, and with my alignment with the body and through professional sport and those sort of things I've learned that way. So sort of we've come to the middle, and it's worked so well. And there's other times where David leads in that, and there's other times where I lead. So it's sort of like a relationship where you've got to understand where someone falls in behind intuitively and the other leads. And it's sort of the interesting thing is I try and just read into that intuitively and say, okay, I think we've got to go this way. Yeah. And then David's incredible at taking risks. And that's, as you know, with business, you've got to be on the front foot all the time, taking risks. I think that's where the harmony comes with us. So yeah, David's got an incredible story, and I've got so much deep respect for that, his gifts and skills, where I don't try and go and do that. There's no I've got to do that. Oh, that's mine. So no, man, that's your magic and your genius. You stay there. And I feel the same in return as well too.
Yeah, it's beautifully said. I mean, I kind of stopped everything and went on a journey, unbeknownst to me, to a lot of sacred sites like Egypt and Jerusalem, Israel, the Middle East, Peru, Mount Shasta, Uluru, and just picked up codes and spoke to the indigenous and learned a lot about their sacred substances. And the two that really stood out to me was alchemical gold and ormus from Egypt. They were using that for the priests, the pharaohs, and just a lot of the kind of important, influential people within their society. Cleopatra was big into it as an example. It was really big amongst the Essenes. And then kind of the equivalent to that in the East was shilajit. So traveling through the Himalayas, spending time in Tibet. And the beautiful thing with me traveling through there, the way I did it, I didn't have a time limit. So I could sit in those spaces for weeks or months if they resonated. Like one example at the Dead Sea, I actually slept by the bank for 88 nights and was sun gazing, fasting, getting in and out of the hot and cold ocean plasma, which is very different to any other fluid on the planet. And that really took me into the world of minerals and ormus in a whole new way, to where I felt like it showed me that intersection between energy and form and the importance of minerals, even though, they've kind of been overlooked a lot, and the importance of gold. So then, the formulation with that, it's one thing kind of going from that journey and understanding minerals and then creating a formulation to then starting a business and then scaling the business. And that's where Brad's been awesome. So he runs all the operations.
Okay.
He's incredible at relationship. He runs all of our sales and marketing. He's also run all of our manufacturing. We've now been able to pass that off to one of our other brothers that we've known for 30 years, Michael, and another friend we've known for 15 years, looks after all of our customer service and community. So it's really important. We look after each other. We all kind of get on really well. We know our place. And we just feel so blessed to be in the stage we're at now, where we have these products that we know are so vital and important for the stage of the cycle that we're in. And the quality of the products is the big thing from my perspective. It was like finding the best source, finding the best quality. And I knew if we did that, we had a market, and that market is, it's like an ageless market, because if you've got the best quality of something, which we just wouldn't compromise in, we know it's going to have the most or the greatest impact on the body. And then that will be a feedback from the universe and from our loyal community. And that's what we've experienced. And I believe that's been why we've had so much success in the first couple of years of business. And we did all that through 2 products, really. And we've introduced, we've got 13 now, and they're all based on the same thing. They're all around frequency, charge, energy, and raising that human experience. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go, for the second half of this year and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, I've used ever since I got introduced to your products. I've certainly used the gold when I've had it, but the flagship product, I guess, would be, what do you call it? Just the Manna. I mean, you sold a lot of those fucking packets. But a daily, I actually am one of those guys who like to kind of just raw dog it, put it in, and then maybe just take a little water afterwards just for simplicity. Yeah. Because if I put it in the glass, I don't always get all of it out. So but
I do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, you do good. Okay. I'm with those.
You're not alone there. We do exactly the same thing.
Hell yeah. Well, I just thought, for one, like the packaging was just like, how did that come about? Because it's fucking brilliant. There was other shilajit on the market that it was a much more arduous task to do it. And I did it a few times. Like, fuck that. I need something much simpler than that. And then, so I was no longer doing it. And then I got introduced to you guys, and it's like, oh yeah, of course, this is so simple. So how did you come up with that delivery system?
5 years of hard work.
Really?
Yeah. So we're in R&D with that technology for 5 years, and it's super, super complex. That mechanical engineering is very involved, but we stuck with it because of exactly what you said. Shilajit resin, as you know, is very tricky to work with. It's messy. It goes everywhere. It stinks, hasn't got the best taste. It's very hard to administer the correct dose. So we wanted to have it in an easy delivery mechanism that would save people time, that tasted good, and had the right dosage every time. So, I mean, the amount of hard work and attention we put into that, no one except for Brad and I will ever know, and it doesn't matter. But we've got it to this point now where, people can have these substances that are from the most remote locations in the world in their kitchen, and as you say, just snap it, put it in your water and go, or snap it straight in your mouth, add some water and go. Which we're super proud of, because that's you will never see another product packaged in a thing like that, because I don't think anybody else would take the time or put in the investment.
Yeah, we laugh a lot. Like when we look at each other, we laugh a lot because there's a lot of pain in that laughter. You know, it's a lot of shit. Yeah, there's a lot of shared experience. It's like, how do you keep pushing when it's like it keeps like failing, or it's not opening, or it's bursting or leaking? Like, we're positioning ourselves as this beautiful positioned product with beautiful packaging, and then the end product's not working. It's like, it's so devastating on that one hand, but you've just got to trust. Like, there's this element of trust with that as well. And, like, laugh because sometimes someone goes, no, we can't do it. And the other person goes, let's go, let's keep going. And that belief and that striving, and that's where it's great having a partnership, because there's always one that can carry the other through those moments. And there's been moments where Dave's been, say, in Italy, in our manufacturing over there, and what gives us horror, I know what he's laughing at. It's the machine. It goes, dum, and you hear that machine when you get close to it. You just go, oh, because it's so temperamental. It's got parts that are manufactured from Ducati. It's like, it's the most incredible machine, but it's so temperamental and wastage is high. From a business model, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, it's the beautiful thing is like the ease of use. Like, that's the experience and the feeling that you're after when you're doing those things. That's like, that makes all of those times where we wanted to give up worth it, because people go, oh, the packaging's beautiful. And, the ease of use, like, it's like, oh, that's just all of that heartache. And I remember going to Canada and sitting beside this machine for like 48 hours. And it was brutal. I said, I'll never want to see that machine ever again.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, when we were developing Manna, we weren't thinking of the business case.
Yeah.
We didn't have business experience. We just wanted to create the absolute best product that we could.
Yeah.
And because we'd spent so much time with these substances, we saw them as living entities and us as being stewards for them. So we were just like, we've got to find the best versions of these substances, and we've got to honor them by putting them in the best possible delivery mechanisms and packaging, so that when people receive it, they know it's something special. I mean, some people know that shilajit's something special anyway, but when you're unboxing our packaging and you're going through that daily ritual, the intention and the gratitude to something that's come out of a mountain above 16,000 feet in the Himalayas and being gathered by like an indigenous tribe over there, that comes through.
Yeah.
Which, we believe just makes, again, life like a better experience, like a more rich and deep, profound experience where you're not just taking another supplement, but you're actually taking medicine that's lighting up your body and turning it on.
Yeah. Well, and beyond just the actual packet, right?
Yeah.
The box, and then the box within the box, like who was the kind of creative genius around that? Cause it almost takes like, kind of Apple's concept it's an elevated Apple kind of experience, which is high praise, because Apple was kind of I feel like is the gold standard. And you guys kind of kicked it up a notch or two, which has been incredible.
And
look at this. Look, I mean, for people who are watching on, like, that is just so beautiful. The cards in there.
Yeah.
And
So like the card and the brochure, I'll just show you something quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Because even behind here is a sticker that I designed 12 years ago. I drew this by hand at the time.
Whoa.
And that's the masculine and feminine geometry of space and time, being a torus and a 64 tetrahedron grid. So that's there so that during shipping, it's like it puts out a 64-foot coherent field. So and this is on all of our products. So the intention to like every single detail, to have reverence of the product is so important for us. So it's just honoring what we believe is, the most important aspects of life.
Yeah. And we spent a lot of time in, the most incredible, you're talking about Apple, but then you go to the most incredible packaging, which is all of the high-end luxury boxes.
Yeah.
And you go and just, you go on and just like go into duty-free shops or the best shops in the world, right? And you start feeling, and it's like, oh no, this is like an emotion and a feeling when you get that box, like this slips out perfectly. And the attention to detail that David has got is super obsessive. So if it didn't feel right, it'd be going back or would have to iterate and iterate. So no, when you've got that attention to detail and obsession, and when you've got form and function meeting at that precipice, it's like, it's so beautiful, but thousands of hours to get to that point and iteration after iteration and just like, no, that's a no. It's got to be a hell yes before you actually get it. It's like, no, that's what that product needs. Like David's saying, from like its raw material, where it's harvested, to the end expression and feeling from that person. It's got to be like on that note. And it's like attuned to a note. Like,
and we're a startup. We had nothing. We were living out the back of a Prius. We were traveling around Australia. We went out to Uluru and down to Tasmania in a Prius with a tent. So we'd take it in turns. Someone would sleep in the car, the other would sleep in a tent. And that's how I traveled through the Middle East, through the Jordan desert. But there was a beauty in that, Cal, because it's like you have to trust. And when you've got nothing, you can lose nothing. But you just keep trusting that the next day you'll be provided for. And it gets to a point where that actually becomes quite exciting, because trusting in that next day and not knowing where you're going to sleep, actually you end up sleeping somewhere and you have this great experience, or you develop this relationship with someone that kind of gives you the tip on the next thing to do. So Brad and I have done that so many times. And that's why before, when he said to you, I know that we'll always be okay, that's what he means. It's like, if we lost everything tomorrow, we're just as happy and we're just as okay, because we've spent so much time in nature that we know we're always looked after. And that's a cool feeling. But to invest in the level of quality was an example of that trust, because we couldn't afford to do it.
Yeah.
And we didn't take on rounds of funding to do it. We've done it all ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it's incredible. And to your point, Brad, like it every bit of that package fits just perfectly. It slides out with just enough tension where it's not moving around. It's not hard to pull out, whether it's the box that has the packets in it, or the box within the bigger box, or it's the card. I have a hard time. Like, I have a lot of the cards is like in my drawer. Like, I don't need that, but I have a hard time like recycling them because they're so nice. And so I'm not happy about that, but they are. It's an incredible attention to detail, and it speaks to what the ethos is for what you've created here. And it's just, I don't even like calling it a brand. It's just like I don't know if it's a signal. There's just something, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of feels like it cheapens it to call it a brand, because it's not what you guys are doing. It's like, it's not a lifestyle. It's, maybe it's just unlabelable, but I love, we've got some friends gathering tonight, and I'm so excited to have you guys here. And you guys just got to drop in for a few moments with Brian Leggett from Immortal. And it was like I knew you guys were going to get on, but you guys were just like exploding. It's like, oh, it's so rad. And we've been connected for, 2 to 3 years and trying to land this podcast. And whenever you're in the States, I seem to be in Idaho or traveling. And so it hasn't happened until now. And then we got to bump into each other, kind of quote unquote randomly at Sun Life yesterday. And it was like all the things are starting to happen, and it feels really cool for me to be able to gather people that are not just inspiring to me, but they're doing, again, I don't know what the word is, but it's well, just for lack of a better term, business differently. With Brian and you guys, you feel it when you talk to him. You feel it when you see the Immortal Chamber. You'll get much deeper into it tonight as you guys learn more about each other. But there's something, and it's what's really inspiring Ty and I with Unlearned Ventures, and what are we in service to? Because before it was about math and spreadsheets and returns, and sure, getting together with great founders and founders that we trust, but we're much layers, the trust is much different now.
Mm.
And the transaction piece comes much later.
Mm.
There's a really like a feeling out process that is about getting like this coherence about like, what are you about? What are we about? And there's like these little tests that are happening, not to necessarily test someone, but our biology is like testing one another and seeing if we trust. What is this brand in service to? Is it like truly about holding this note about what they're trying to provide for their people, their customer, whatever it is? Or is it like, let's find there's this hole in the market and we think that with this operator and this manufacturer, we can fill this hole. It's like, that's awesome. Good luck. That's not what we're tracking anymore. And so, again, I'm excited for this conversation and for tonight and Brad, you and I have been on some calls lately as well. And it's just, there's so much resonance, and it's helping Ty and I really frame, like really get clear about who we are. What do we really care about? If we take care of all these other things that are deeply resonant, the returns will be there. And if they're not, oh well, and I know like investors don't want to hear that, but it's got to be about more than the money, because I've done that before and I've been entirely unfulfilled. And so what is going to provide me with that, laying my head on the pillow at night, just so excited about what's going to happen tomorrow without having any real plan, and just allowing whatever wants to come through, and for me to get out of the way and just pick up that signal. And so again, just love that you guys are here sharing your story, and for me to get to know you guys in your journey and the care and how you are guided by something that's much greater than what you can even maybe articulate. And so, and I'm going to do my best to get to the why behind it, but I just want to leave space for some of it you just can't explain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think most supplements fail because they ignore the things that we're addressing, like absorption, the charge, and the cellular intelligence. So again, it's that gap between energy and form. And that's what we're super passionate about, because we know once that cell membrane potential is charged and is at a certain millivolts, then we can get to a point where the cells can actually synchronize and get in phase with each other. And then that intercellular communication can raise and lift. If that's supported by light and the fluids being fed with light, again, it's back to that crystalline structure.
Yeah.
And it's not esoteric. It's just we are liquid crystal. And if that's oscillating with the field and those higher light frequencies, then we're accessing the higher processes. So that's really our passion and devotion, is to lifting that human experience and access genetic liberation to the point where we're assisting with a whole new human species, where we are interconnected, where we are in more harmony, where we're accessing the truth of who we are. And then from there, humanity transcends into a literal golden age in all areas of life, because it starts within us.
It really does. And I'm interested to unpack a bit. I feel like you're about to say something.
Yeah, no, just something just come to me. It's like what you were saying, and it's like a lot of I don't like using the term journey, but the path that we've walked is like the currency's only been presence, at a lot of like testing times. And it's, as you were talking about like your own journey, I was going, it's like, that's it. Like for me, the remembering of parts of where we had nothing, and like the only thing that we could give is presence. And that was, it's like some of the moments we had were just so guided and flowed so beautifully. Like it just, when you were talking there, I was like, what is that? Like that shows up in that product, because there's been hundreds of hours and minutes that we've spoken about, like we just got to create the best product that we can. And then, and the product always shows us too, like if we're not in alignment, man, it spits you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you're saying, like if you're not in alignment to where resonance is, if you've fueled the cell and you're in that resonance, it's not going to be happy days every day. It's like, it'll spit you out. And that product does for me, like, and for us too, if we're not in alignment or we're taking, and I think when we're talking about golden age, it's in service of the age that we're going into. Like I find for all of us, if we can be more in service and then more than like taking, like, and that's where, like, if we can be all in that charged state through, like say, let's call it products that we can give you, then everyone else is going to come online because that's what the universe or life is giving us at the moment for a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where people are feeling off. It's like, this thing I'm doing at the moment's not it, but just keep going one more step because the next thing could be it.
Yeah. Well, what's been interesting for me is, and I think you were hitting on it, Dave, like I've gone through seasons where I'll take supplements and then I'm like, I don't fucking know if any of these are working. And then I know when I don't feel like they're working, they're not going to work. Right. But there's the only constant has been your product. Cause I just have always felt like at least I can do this. I know I'm getting and it's again, like I'm not into the science and I'm curious about all this stuff. I'm into the biohacking, but like I don't go too deep down the rabbit holes with that stuff. There's like a trust. And that's been like the one constant that has been part of my morning routine. And it's interesting as you talk about it, a lot of these other ones, I just haven't, there's not that intuitive trust with it. And it doesn't mean they don't work. It's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is it really comes through for me. And I don't understand all of it. There's like, I'm called to it. And I know like at the very least that this thing's going to give me what I need. And so thank you for that. I'd love to unpack this idea of gold. Because I think a lot of us look at it as through the lens of the gold standard. It's a commodity. It's not useful for anything. Like, what is gold? Necklace, jewelry, whatever. In your exploration and in some of the stuff that I've been learning, it's much more powerful than that. It's really, I'll let you speak of it. Like, what is it about gold?
So everyone's attracted to gold and we think it's because it's for its monetary value. And it's obviously been the greatest storage of wealth for the last 5,000 years. So just that alone, there's some signs there.
Mm-hmm.
So that ties pretty deeply into our consciousness. However, it's also the only substance on the planet that holds all the different waveforms of light from the sun. So it's liquid light in a metallic form. Now, what a lot of the ancients and the high consciousness civilizations that have been here in the past, like the Egyptians and the Sumerians, they produced an editable form of gold, whether it was a white powder or gold in a nanoparticle form. So we produce both. In this product, we have it in a gold nanoparticle form between 10 and 30 nanometers. Now, the reason we do that is in that size, it's no longer considered metallic, it's bioavailable.
Wow.
So it can pass through the blood-brain barrier, which is the most selective part of the brain, get into the amygdala, then get into the medulla oblongata, which is regulating our breath, our heart rate, and a lot of our bodily fluids like the cerebral spinal fluid and the cellular receptor network. So we've got this substance that holds all the waveforms of light, being able to pass through the most selective part of our body get into our fluids, cerebral spinal fluid, and then get into our interstitial fluid, which is the highway and the connection between our blood and our cells, and then get into the cells. So that light getting into the cells, again, is bringing us back online. It's raising our charge and raising our frequency so that we enjoy our experience here and we're more aligned with our passions and our purpose.
How difficult is it to turn it from, like, how do you receive it from whoever before you start to kind of put it through this process? What's it look like?
So it's depends on the size of the nanoparticle. So when it's at about 10 nanometers, it's red. And as you go through the different sizes, it goes through the colors of the rainbow.
No shit.
So up to 60 to 100 nanometers, it's purple. So red's one side of the light spectrum, purple's the other side. So it goes through all the different colors. As I said, it absorbs all the different light forms from the sun. So we receive it in a particular nano size. We get the different sizes between 10 and 30 because they pass through the blood-brain barrier.
Yep.
And it's as a powder form in that nano particle size. The only downside to it at this stage is it's super expensive. It's like $300,000 a kilo. And gold at the moment, say, 100 or 120, whatever it is. So it's about 3 times the price of gold. The process to get it into a nano particle size is very, very expensive. But we have some people on our team that can now make gold. So that should drive the price down.
Fuck,
which will
make gold
more abundant for people. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The problem at the moment is it's more expensive than mining gold.
Mm-hmm.
But like diamonds, we can make diamonds in a lab now. And, 10 years ago, that was more expensive than mining diamonds.
Yes.
But now it's a tenth of the price. Same thing will happen with gold.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see recently that CERN had put together, they've turned some lead into gold.
Mm.
So it's happening. Yeah. That's when it's coming online for this age, right? Like the only way to have access to that stuff is if it has to be cheaper.
Yeah.
And
So when you go down into a monoatomic form as well, which is a single atom,
Okay.
it's almost like the atom's still trying to decide what elemental expression it's going to be. And you can do things at that stage where, let's say if it's going to become a gold particle, that might be a 10,000 or 100,000 year process in nature. We can now do that in 10 minutes. And then cluster that into gold.
What else is in the gold product?
Shilajit, ormus, and ocean plasma.
Okay, let's unpack those a little bit more.
Yeah, so shilajit's the greatest nutrient-rich product we can find on the planet. So per gram of shilajit has more nutrients in it than anything else I can find. And if someone can find something with more nutrients in it, I'd love to hear it. It's got all of your minerals. It's got all of your amino acids. It's got whole heap of triterpenes. It's got vitamins. It's got this incredible element called fulvic acid, which we call nature's miracle molecule. So fulvic acid activates trace minerals and breaks them down into a smaller particle size. So you can actually cross a cell membrane potential. So it can take nutrients in and remove toxins. So it's like nature's nanotechnology as well.
Wow.
So yeah, shilajit's super powerful. As we said, it comes from the mountains. It's black.
Yeah. How's it formed?
It's a resin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to get to. It's really expensive because it comes from super high altitude. And then we combine that with the ormus and ocean plasma that comes from the lowest place on Earth and is white and is ocean based. So the shilajit's plant based from the highest place. It's black.
Of course.
The ocean plasma and ormus is white from the lowest place and it's white. And then combining the two is like the black and white keys on a piano.
Yeah.
It gives us all of those notes for our body to sing like the ultimate song, right?
Yeah.
Because it's getting everything it needs from a building blocks perspective. And that's it. Yeah, we've done some work on the flavoring as well because shilajit taste is so extreme.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got like a chai
Mm-hmm.
based flavor that an Ayurvedic professor in Australia who's been an Ayurvedic professor for like 50 years, he hand makes that for us.
Wow.
And then, we put it into those little packets. So everyone can just have it in their kitchen and snap it in a drink. And
it's so easy. Yeah. And I know the gold, people can have a particular experience. It can be very soul revealing. I know Austin has talked about when he takes it, it's like a lot comes up for him.
Yes.
What have you found personally? And then like, what are some of the kind of anecdotal kind of shares that people have with it?
Yeah, because it's bringing light into the body. I'll give my experience and then let Brad give his. It's like, it's always different. Like the first time I ever took it, we were together, and I was awake until 3 a.m. And every time I closed my eyes, I could just see light. It felt like it was light traveling through my neurons. And my dreaming becomes very vivid and actually quite intense. It's like it's releasing. So what the gold's actually doing is inducing coherent biophotonic light into our cells and into our DNA. So because it's putting light into that DNA, any ancestral or causal conditioning or any trauma from this life will be exposed.
Okay.
And that's often in a dream state. So it can be quite intense. And I was taking quite high doses.
What would be a high dose relative to one of these packets?
Yeah, I mean, because I had the raw material.
Yeah.
There's 5 milligrams in every sachet. But there would have been times I would have been taking, 200 milligrams.
Fuck yeah.
Simply because I got it on things when I was playing with it. I didn't want to waste it, so I'd just consume it.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
I got to a point where being here was a rest and going to sleep was so intense. When I woke up, I was like, oh my gosh, that was the most extreme experience I've ever had. And I'm so glad I'm back here to have a rest.
Holy shit.
And that's when I backed off.
I like it though. You go to the edge. You're like, I want to fucking see how far I can push this.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I'm good.
Well, because it's light.
Yeah.
There's no harm.
Mm-hmm.
You can't overdose.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just bringing those light codes in to remove the density inside the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that was my experience. I'll let Brad share his.
Yeah. Mine was very similar in the extent of like, I felt like there was a releasing of like in the DNA of like old stuff, like really dense, dark energy was releasing and it felt so real. But as soon as I woke up, it was over. So it wasn't like a purging or a biological, I'm sick. It was more of a subconscious purging, and it was intense and it was short, but it felt real. I guess it's the best way I can put it, that my experience and, doing it, really cleanly too, like eating super clean.
Yeah.
So backing right off the meat, super veggie, like any other purging and prep and no alcohol, really lowering the dose of stimulation externally. Yeah, and that I think that gave a room for a lot of stuff to come up. And it's almost like you do a Vipassana too, when everyone gets still and you get rid of all those distractions, all the real juicy stuff comes up. And I think fear then comes up too. Like you do 2 or 3 nights of that and you go, oh, this is actually real. So it's like you get to that edge and you can back off, right? As soon as you stop taking it, you're fine. It doesn't just keep going on and on. It's like, if you're in a bad trip or you have some bad mushrooms or ayahuasca, you can't get out of it. There's no put it in park or put it in reverse. It's like you just got to put it in drive and just plant your foot, right?
Yeah.
So no, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's beautifully smooth, and it stops when you stop taking it. But there's been a lot of times where I've had it and just felt supercharged through the day, super clear. Energy was up, focus was up. And no dreaming. So I feel like it's with any of those subconscious, actions that happen. It's all timing, and it's what you need to see at that time. And I think it gets back to what we were saying before. You just got to like let go, and whatever happens, happens. But yeah, that was my direct experience. It's like, oh, we're going into this again, are we?
Yeah.
And to be super clear, mine's in and around a lot of violence, and that's been something that's popped up in a lot of my life as well. So, that I'm not surprised because that's been my direct experience. So I had one the other night, which was this big wolf, and then we saw like a wolf looking thing the next day. So yeah, it's crazy. It's very crazy. It's good.
And there's the detox side, and then there's the side that's building up the charge.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful side too, because that's getting you on purpose as well. And that's improving your ability to manifest, ability to create. And just lifting that charge so that you're less susceptible to environmental causes and conditioning like illness and disease, which is super powerful.
What have you found as great practices to pair with any of these supplements? Like what allows the cell to be more activated, and simple things that people can do at home? Or
it's a great question. I mean, hydration, which the ocean plasma provides, is really important. Sun gazing, like we mentioned before, and it doesn't have to be staring at the sun. It can just be getting sun.
Yeah.
I mean, back home, we get 300 sunny days a year, so we're super blessed. Getting in the ocean, walking on the beach, breathing, drinking good water, structured water preferably.
Yeah.
Fasting's amazing.
Yeah.
If you can do like 48, 72-hour fast once a quarter.
Yeah.
But just those simple things, and so many of them are free, which is beautiful. Sunlight, structured water is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Walking on the beach or going for a swim in the ocean is cheap.
Yeah.
Fasting's the cheapest. Meditating's cheap.
Yeah.
So a lot of these practices can be pretty accessible, and you don't need to spend a lot of money on them.
Yeah, I keep things really simple. Like I just have a simple, perfect day every day. Is my discipline. It's like fasting as long as I can. I'll have 1 Manna sachet a day, 2 if I'm feeling I need to. I train at about 11 o'clock every day at jiu-jitsu. So I'll take ocean before, during and after, and sauna every day, and always take a sauna, ocean after sauna. Yeah, and that knocks me out at night, because you got that high magnesium and stuff like that. It just knocks you out when you get to sleep.
What else is in the ocean? So you've got the magnesium in there. Is that right?
Magnesium, potassium, sulfur, calcium.
Oh, yeah.
So all of those, what I call macro salts that most of our bodies are starving for.
Mm-hmm.
There is sodium chloride in there as well. And then all of the other trace minerals, which are really important. So basically all of those 90 nutrients on the periodic table that our body requires, along with the ormus, which is some of those minerals in other energetic states, which is basically about the charge.
Mm-hmm.
So we call the ocean hydration and charge.
Yeah. All right. So I'm dying to talk about this. I'm actually more importantly, I'm dying to put more on because it is so freaking good. Okay. So is this available yet for purchase, or?
It's going to be available from August. There's, it's a brand new product line. Comes back to quality again, Cal. So the best and the highest 4 essential oils on the planet is oud and sandalwood and rose and ambergris.
Ambergris?
Ambergris.
I don't know if I've heard of that before.
Yes, ambergris is actually from a sperm whale. And they spew up this thing called ambergris because they eat a lot of cuttlefish. So their digestive system has developed ambergris to be able to break that down. So ambergris is known as the holy grail of perfumery because it gives any other scent additional layers and makes it last longer.
Okay.
Yeah. So alchemists have been playing around with it for a couple of 100 years. Thank you. And so, yeah, it's back to that quality. They're the 4 highest frequency, best essential oils on the planet. So they're the ones that we've chosen to work with. We get them from farms around the world. So again, straight to the source.
Mm-hmm.
And then the carrier oils in there is sea buckhorn and rosehip. Sea buckhorn's incredible. It's full of omega-3s,
Okay.
omega-6s, plus fulvic acid as well. And then there's 12 other oils in there that are really powerful for different things, like red raspberry, as an example, has a natural UV component. So, yeah, it's something that we're super proud of. The Egyptians, again, and people like Cleopatra used to use those high-frequency oils when they were around high-frequency devices to up-regulate their frequency so that the frequency of the device didn't have a harmful effect on them. Because, if people, our body's usually at about, a healthy body's at about 70 megahertz. But if you went at 70 megahertz to a device like the Ark of the Covenant, any disease in the body would manifest in like a 24-hour window instead of over the next 10 or 20 years. So because it would manifest so quick, a lot of people would not make it. Whereas if you embalmed yourself in like rose oil, which is around 320 megahertz, you would be protected.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So again, it's all about charge and frequency. Apart from the fact that it smells incredible.
It smells incredible.
Yeah, and it's super hydrating for the skin.
So you have a men's version and a women's version.
Yeah, I mean, they're unisex. Some women love oud and sandalwood.
Okay.
Some guys love rose. So we're not necessarily saying men's and women's, but I would say most women would gravitate towards the rose, and most men would gravitate towards the oud and the sandalwood. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love taking the rose before. I use the rose a lot.
You do?
Yeah, before bed.
Yeah.
So taking ocean and the rose, it's like, topically rose, that frequency just drops you in for a deep night's sleep.
So there's a face oil of each, and there's a face moisturizer of each. There's also ormus and gold nanoparticles in every product.
Of course there are.
Yeah. For the charge and frequency again.
Yes.
That's the intention, man.
All right, what else do we have here? I mean, I know that, is it the beta glucine?
Yeah, so this is the best product we know of for the immune system.
Mm.
It stimulates immune cells to remove pathogens. So parasites, disease, virus. There's been more clinical studies done on beta glucan than any other immune product. Still not too many people know about it.
Yeah.
But it's an intention of ours to modulate and prime the body's intelligence to be more efficient. So that's what we're doing with the shilajit for the cells, and that's what we're doing with the beta glucan for the immune system. Because once our body's more efficient, it has more time and energy to put on other things.
Yeah.
Which, if we can put it on that glass half full in the light, then again, we're raising our frequency and having a better experience here. Whereas if our immune system's struggling and is less efficient and it's caught up in, inflammation, then we're going to be on those denser frequencies again. So the source of the beta glucan is reishi mushroom, which is the queen of mushrooms.
Yeah.
A lot of people will just take that whole mushroom, but the beta glucan, again, it's a process that's quite laborious and expensive to do, but it's literally taking out.
Of course it is.
It's literally taking
stay on
out
brand.
the seed. It's the best part of the mushroom, and being able to stimulate the immune cells to remove pathogens with everything happening on the planet. Mm-hmm. Again, is just something that's so important for the vitality of the body. Yeah. And to be honest, that's been requested by so many of our customers, was an immune product. So we're like, what's the best immune product we can produce? So it's beta glucan, and the immune product, that is rosehip powder with elderberry powder. So it's the most potent and holistic vitamin C products on the planet. Vitamin C is so important for our immune system. And I don't know if you know, but 90% of vitamin C is just ascorbic acid. And 90% of ascorbic acid is synthetic, made from genetically modified corn syrup. So it's actually poison for our body.
Of course.
It just has ascorbic acid. This has ascorbic acid from nature, not from genetically modified corn syrup. But it also has bioflavonoids, enzymes, and minerals. So again, it's a holistic approach from nature that our body recognizes and can synthesize. And it's a vitamin C and an immune product like no other. So the combination of the beta glucan with the vitamin C is all you need to take to keep your immune system modulated and primed to support the body's intelligence, again, to be more efficient.
You also have a, and I have it over there, shilajit product. I'm going to grab them. This we have them.
Yeah. The immune product and the beta glucan is brilliant for traveling as well. Yeah. So when you're going through a lot of those dense frequencies or a lot of those EMFs through those airports, it's like there's almost a protective layer from that charge of the cell too, because you're under attack through inflammation for a lot of those places too. So it's brilliant to take traveling. And the beautiful thing about beta glucan, there's no like you only need 3 tablets a day. You can take as many as you want. You can't overdose on beta glucan. So if you feel something coming up or like a scratchy throat, you just really double down on both of those.
I love that. Well, okay, so now you have the ormus and the shilajit in a different form.
Yes.
So what was the inspiration behind that?
Again, it was customer feedback. A lot of people don't like the taste of shilajit resin.
Yeah.
So we put it in a capsule. You don't have to taste it.
Yeah.
That's the inspiration between the challenge with the shilajit capsules was getting the resin because we didn't want to use a powder into a powder form. Found a way to do that. Found a way to nano mill it. So it's in a small particle size. Because we always believed that liquids were better absorbed through the mouth. Yeah. We still do.
Yep.
But with that particle size and the fulvic acid that's in there, absorption has been improved. And then the ormus, it's around cognition and charge. So brain power and charge of the cells. And our ormus is produced different to any other ormus on the planet. Most ormus is produced from sodium hydroxide, which is a chemical, quite a dirty chemical. It's used as drain cleaner. We don't use chemicals. We combine 2 hypertonic ocean plasmas and get a precipitate. And that's what we use, which was what they used to use, what the Essenes used to use back at the Dead Sea around the time of Cleopatra, 30 BC. Yeah.
Of course it was. What are we missing for, you said you've got a suite of 13 products right now. What else is out there that we haven't talked about today?
That's it. So we've got the gold, Manna Gold. We've got the Manna OG, which is the shilajit, ocean plasma, and ormus without the gold. We've also got shilajit in sachets.
I have some of those, yeah.
We've got the ocean plasma in sachets for people that just want hydration and don't like the taste of shilajit. People that don't want hydration but just want pure shilajit, we've got pure shilajit. We now got the 4 capsule lines. That's 8 products. We've got the oud face oil. We've got the rose face oil. We've got a natural face oil. So it's 13 carrier oils, mainly sea buckhorn and rosehip, but no essentials because some people don't want a scent as part of their face oil. And then we've got 2 face moisturizers, an oud and a rose.
And you were saying that the oud and the rose face oil was 10 years in the making. Like how like I just try to wrap my head around that. Like, how do you stay on the path for 10 years? Like what allowed you to just trust that it was when it was ready, it was going to come? It's
a great question. I mean, to be honest with you, we've given up on it a couple of times. And when I say given up on it, because of the different kind of esoteric component to dealing with alchemical gold and ormus, some of the feedback we got was, do we really want to do this? Do we know enough about this? We'd learnt about some of the experts in it in the past being taken out because it's secret knowledge. Like the gold, the ormus, they're substances that are some of the greatest healing substances on the planet that have been hidden until now. So us as stewards, we're bringing those back out because we understand at this particular time in the cycle, they represent. And we don't believe in competition. Like if another 10,000 companies started producing these tomorrow, that would just be another sign to us that we're in the right time, and we would be stoked.
Yeah.
But because of the intensity of working with alchemical gold and things like ormus, there's been times where we've just thought there's easier ways to do things.
Yeah.
And we've let it go. Mm-hmm. And then I'll give you an example. We were down in Tasmania. We were doing like a 15-mile hike to the most southern part of the country. Brad had a broken foot from surfing. And we got like a third of the way into this walk, and all we were talking about was minerals and ormus, and, because we're so passionate about them. And he just turned and stopped and said, we've got to do this again. Like, we just got to do it and forget about the consequences and just follow like our passion. And it's so clear to us that it's so clear to me that this is my life's work.
Yeah. And
I've let go of the potential consequences of bringing some of these high frequency items out because it doesn't matter. I believe I'm infinite and eternal. So if this life's short, that's okay. I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a devotion now. And we don't have a time frame for it. It's come together with Divinity now, where we've got all these beautiful products from the feedback that we've received with the initial ones doing so well. But yeah, I guess the R&D was, a lot of it as well was I would just go on random trips to different places in the world with no time limit. Like an example was going to Israel for 2 weeks and I spent 6 months there. And then I would come back and do something totally different, like build water vortexes.
Wow.
And be passionate about learning more about how a vortex works and how it's a, communication chamber and all of these different things. So I guess there's been interruptions in the journey. It hasn't been like over the last 10 years, we've just focused on this, but it's always been there. And now it's got to a point where we feel super proud with what we've created because we know the impact that it's going to have on people. And we want to just share it with as many people as possible.
I want to hear more about devotion because I think that is really special in what you guys are doing. And I think it's unfortunately fairly rare. And so when you talk about like if this life is short, you're not being flippant. You're like, there's a belief there in that you're in service, you're in devotion to something much greater than I think a lot of people can kind of wrap their head around. So I'd love to hear more about what that means to you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like what Brad was saying before, when we announced everything and had nothing, that was some of the most peaceful experiences I've ever had and some of the most connected experiences I've ever had. And the relationship that I have with the sun and the ocean and that space that opens up when you're just with yourself and you go within. To me, that's my home. And that's what we always have when we leave here or when we're anywhere. It's like a timeless, infinite space. So from there, the devotion is like, it's an obsession as well. It's like I can't get away from it because it's what I'm here to do. I just feels like it's my destiny. So then the opportunity is to do it as best you can because it's not to make money. It's to honor the elements that have created these products. Like you think about gold, it's created from the sun and the elements. You think about ocean plasma, it's created from the sun and seawater. Shilajit's the same. So it's those elemental expressions or our true self that we're devoted to. And nothing else makes sense. And we were fortunate in our 20s. We were lads. We played a lot of sport. We had a lot of great times together. So we don't feel like we haven't like exhausted that or experienced that. For me, I was like 33 and just had a total life-changing moment and went out and renounced everything and went into nature. And from there, nothing else makes sense except, do things right, be the best person you can, share connection and love, and get everybody or as many people as you can, like inspire as many people as you can to tap into that connection and love, because that's true peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that when you're talking, it's like, we always used to say, like, it's to be inspired and to be inspiration. And the relationship side with what we do with people and the connections we make that's the biggest upside for me. It's like, so what's this person doing? What are you doing? Like, and that's the true nature of me. Like, how can I help? Or what are you doing? And like, this is what we've done and been part of. Yeah, that's what I'm obsessed by. It's like, I feel like that's, for me, is the path. And when you find what your thing is, you can't get away from it. It keeps calling you back. Like David's saying, like, David's done such a beautiful job of those minerals and that world. And it's just beautiful to see someone in that, inspired state. And I think that's our opportunity now through this cycle that we're going through, that, that we've been talking about today. It's like, be more of that and not in competition, and the world will be a better place.
Yeah. I almost don't I feel like that's just like a perfect place for us to wrap. But is there anything else that feels like it's left uncovered, unsaid, that you guys want to share? This has been amazing. Obviously I have high expectations and you guys even outdid those. So, and I just think about, as you were sharing that, Brad, like, from the moment we got connected on WhatsApp, like, I just felt this connection to you guys. And like, I'd never been on the phone with you, a Zoom call. Like, we weren't even connected on Instagram until recently. And it's like, who are these fucking guys?
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I just like, feel this love and this connection to them without really knowing much about you guys? But it's just like, it's been clear to me that it's just who you are. You love being in community. There's resonance. There's like, how can we all do this? Like, how can we just work together? Not to create, like, without the outcome. It's like, there's an energy thing that we can work together and be in community, and it's not competitive. It's just beautiful. And again, I think it comes back to what you said, Dave, like this devotion to like, to humanity, because I feel like that's what this is. It's like, certainly to the elements is how you're serving, but it's for humanity. Like, how can we show up in that way? And, as I've come along my journey, it's like, that's becoming my orientation. It's like, again, meeting and spending time with both of you is getting that signal, just like, oh yeah, like, this is what it looks like. When you're sharing, again, I don't like to call them products, but when you're sharing these products, it's like, this is what it looks like in physical form. This is what it looks like in human form, to be in devotion. And so it's a great check-in for me. Like, where are some of these old patterns, and where am I still using an old playbook? Because it's been useful in the past, but it's been useful to a certain degree. And it's like, how do I really let go of that? Bring in some of those skills when necessary, but how can I really be in devotion to something much greater than, those things that have fueled me in the past? So I just so greatly appreciate the way you both show up, and the message that it's not you're sharing, it's you're living it. It is the I want to say frequency, but it's the transmission that's coming through so clearly for me. And I think for people listening, there's something very different about how you guys are doing things. And I think it's really inspiring. I know it's really inspiring. And, just so grateful that, I think I'm able to receive it in a way that a year ago I maybe wouldn't have been able to. And so grateful for the timing of all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So love having you guys here. And I just want to open the floor for if there's anything else that you guys want to share, or we can wrap whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I know we talk about it all the time. We feel super blessed as two Aussies to be able to come over to the States and have an American business that's able to share these products with people that it resonates with. And we first came to Austin 2 years ago and hung out with Austin Floyd, who's become a brother. And he was talking about you nonstop as someone we have to meet. And we could feel it straight away.
Yeah.
And we talk about Cal often, We're like, we've got to meet Cal. I said, we've got to meet Cal. We've got to meet Cal. There's something there. And we also just trust in the right timing.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you for everything you're doing and the people you're supporting and the beautiful, I guess, positioning that you hold in this community. And we just trust in the timing of things, which is now. So we're looking forward to getting to know you better and just seeing what comes of it. So such a blessing to be in your home. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah.
And we're excited to see where it takes us.
Love that. Yeah. Thank you, brother. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'll second that. And something that you said about timing, like there's that trust thing again that keeps popping up. It's like, that when the time is right, the time will be now.
Yeah.
So I love it. Thank you.
And then golf will happen the next time.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we didn't fit in.
It's playtime. And that's the other thing that I love too, that both Dave and I embody as well. Like there has to be an element of play with this as well. And that's really, really important. Yeah. You can be sitting in that inspiration space and go really, really deep, but you can also know that you have to play. We're here to play as well. And that's really, really, really important. Not just play golf, but just play in general, right? Like it's a gift we've been given, all of us. And I think we just need to put attention more on that as well.
Yeah, I love that. And it's just like, we can take things so seriously. It's like, this thing is just, it's like, can you believe we get to live like in this incarnation in this time? It's like, holy shit. Like what a time to be alive.
It's a miracle.
Yes. We laugh about it often. I've got this dream of being in Tasmania, which is the south of Australia, a little island, just with a log cabin, just sitting there and sitting on the balcony or on the porch, on our rocking chairs, smoking cigars and just laughing about, remember that time we were in Austin, like just telling absolute stories and going, I can't remember. Like it's going to be over like that too. So that's, the thing to look forward to the most for me is not remembering any of it. Then we pass on and who knows what happens next.
Who knows? It's going to be fun though. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.